Hi there everybody and welcome along to the big quiz night in. We're back. It's another brand new look quiz night. Hope you're all doing well and I hope most importantly you can all hear me. So please do, before I get too deep into this, get in the chat and let me know, can you all hear me? Because it looks like things are going okay there. It might be too loud, it might be too quiet. I can adjust things as we go, but please do let me know if you can hear me, unlike last week where we had a few little mic problems. I'm just keeping an eye on the chat, so let me know as soon as you can if you can hear me, because that's the most important thing before we continue. And thank you all for being in the chat and having conversations there to get the show started. Yes, you can hear me. Wonderful. You can hear me perfectly. Oh, I can't wait to listen back to some of this show then. Guys, yeah, welcome along. You can see the subjects down at the side of the screen as always. Oh, good. Lovely comments coming in here. Similar to last week, but I did get lots of good feedback after the first of this new look quiz started. I've taken all of that on board. I think I've addressed all of it. Some of you commented in our top fan group, which people are welcome to join if you match certain criteria. I'll talk about that a bit more later. Some of you private messaged me some feedback, and again, I think I've incorporated pretty much everything. So hopefully this will be even better than last week, and we're starting off to a winner because you can actually hear me and you can hear me well. I won't bore you with too much of the details as to how I technically achieved what I've done. If you saw this setup though, you'd be like, huh? But it all works, so that's the important thing. We will be having Abby asking a question soon to kick the show off, so I'll be bringing her in just a moment, and we will also be including throughout the evening picture quizzes as we go. So you'll have pictures to look at. Which way is it? That way, yes. You'll have pictures to look at during the quiz rounds, and then we're going to do dingbats at the end, which is just one, well, there'll be 4 dingbats to look at all in one go. If you don't know what a dingbat is, don't worry, I will explain it at, when we get closer to that point. But hopefully you'll agree that this is a good format and we can carry on at this. But again, I welcome all your feedback and comments. So I'm going to bring in Abby in just a moment. I hope she's ready to come in because there'll be trouble if she's not. Abby, darling, you come in. Let's just have a look at the comments though, just before I do. Hello to the Donuts. Hello to Maddie. Catherine, thank you for joining. Diva's here. Diva's given us lots of inspiration for tonight's quiz because I've incorporated her ideas for questions into the rounds that you're going to see tonight, the first 3 at least. Hello also to Luke and Jane. Glad I'm coming through loud and clear. Tracy says coming through loud and clear as well. Maddie again. Jenny says all good. That's good to hear. So it's Team Bath. And loud and proud, Chris, the whole camping site is playing. The whole camping site? Oh my goodness me. Well, I hope you all have fun anyway. But do, yeah, let me know. I always appreciate good feedback. So, yeah, we've got 4 quiz rounds to go through. But first of all, we'd like to bring in Abby to kick off the show. And here is her special. Right then everybody, here we go. Here's Abby. She's here to ask the question. This is going to be kicking off the show. This one you do have to put in the comments, so you do have to guess your answer in the comments, and the question is on screen already. So why don't you go ahead and read the question here, Abby?
First, hello.
Oh yeah, say hello. I'm so sorry. How rude. I'm just so excited for everybody to see your question. Look at this one. Right. So why don't you go and ask it then? A lot of people are guessing already, so read it off on the screen.
Which of the following is a type of cactus? Is it A, a fairy castle, B, a scary castle, or C, a spooky castle? That's in the way. I couldn't see it.
That's all right. There we go. Look, let me just do it that way. Yes. So read it off one more time then, because we've got some answers coming in. We're going to have a look at them all in a minute. So read it one more time for everybody, if you don't mind.
Which of the following is a type of cactus? Is it A, a fairy castle, B, a scary castle, or C, a spooky castle?
Okay. All right. Good. So let's have a look at some of the answers. Now, we're doing things a bit differently this evening. So the chat is over here now. Look at this here. Yeah. Look at this, right? Okay. So we have got Sue's guessing A. Can you see that there? Tracy saying B. Maddie saying hi to you. Catherine saying A. And yeah, there's Diva saying hi to you. Catherine's saying A. Ju is going A as well. Lots of people saying A. Gabby's here as well. Hi to Gabby. She's saying A. Right, so Fairy Castle, Scary Castle, or Spooky Castle. Why don't you go and tell everybody what the answer is? Which one is it?
The answer is A.
It's a fairy castle. And look, I can even do this, and this is a surprise for Abby too. Look, I can even show you what it all looks like. There you go. There is an example of a fairy castle cactus. What do we think about that? So,
it definitely looks like a castle, I have to say. It's a very crazy castle.
It does. If they turned the Disney castle, the Disney palace, into a cactus, it would probably look something like that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, probably.
All right, there we go. Well, once again, thank you, Abby, for asking that question. Thank you everyone for taking part. The person who got it right the fastest was, let's go to the chat. It was this one. Read this for me. Sue Harrison, it's the donuts. Very well done. You have got it absolutely correct. First, you can give yourself a bonus point, and thank you for guessing that correct answer in the comments. Well done to everybody who guessed A, though, as well. So why don't you say goodnight to everybody, and then I can crack on with the rest of the show.
Good night, and well done, Sue.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, darling. Good job. We'll see you next time. Yeah.
Bye. See you next Thursday.
Okay, all right, let me just move that one out of the way then. Now I've shown you that. What do you think, guys? Was that good? Do you like that? Always welcoming your feedback then. I'll take away that and that and that. One other thing, just before we move on to round number one, everybody, is to show you something else that happened recently. I'm just going to cover up the chat for a minute while I show you that, because I've been going on about this for a while. Those of you who follow me on TikTok will know exactly what that picture is all about. Basically, I've crossed over the 3,000 followers mark at last. It's been a long old slog going from 2 to 3,000, but it seemed to really pick up in the last few days. So if you haven't checked it out already, please do. There's lots of free content there. Every video is a different question. You guess in the comments, or you press buttons to guess. It's just like having a quiz app on your phone. That's my goal, is to turn TikTok into a quiz app, basically. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and long may this continue. So there's something else you can go and visit if you are ever bored or need something fun to do. Just check out Big Quiz Night In on TikTok. Right, let's move on then, shall we? I'll get to more of your comments in a moment, and we're going to move on to round number one, which will be a potluck round. During this round, as soon as I flick over to the next screen, you're going to see the first two pictures as well. Don't guess them in the comments, though. I'll explain what they are if it's not obvious immediately. They're for bonus points to add on to your score at the end of each round, okay? So you're going to find out what the answers are at the end and add them on to your total score. So let's go over to round one then. And it is the potluck round. So, oh, bless. I've just seen some of your comments about Abby there. She does look so grown up. She's going to look even more grown up soon. She's going to go for a proper haircut down the salon with Mummy. So, yeah, I can't remember when it's happening, but she's going to do that at some point soon. She'll look even more grown up. Yes, Diva says really like that. Oh, Millie, your TikTok is brilliant. I've missed seeing you on TikTok. When are you coming back to it? You haven't been showing up for ages. I know you've been having some phone problems, haven't you? Thank you, Diva. That's much appreciated. So I did warn some of you. I said in one of my posts that it was going to be funny and silly pictures. So if you haven't seen this kind of stuff before, there are two celebrities merged together in each picture, which means for each picture there are 2 points available if you can work out who they are, which faces of celebrities have been merged together. Oh, you'll hopefully be back ASAP. Thank you for that. That's good. You still got a Wi-Fi problem. Okay. Oh, that's fine. All right. Well, you'll get there. I look forward to your return. Hopefully before the Paralympics start, if they haven't already. Can't be too far off now. Right. So, like I said, with these pictures, keep your answers to yourselves, though, just like with the rest of the round I'm about to read through. Because at the end, I'll give you the potluck round answers, and then I'll tell you which celebrity faces have been merged in those pictures. You get 1 point for each. Okay? So something to look at while we go. Here we go then with question number one. Remember, keep the answers to yourself, please. I'll do repeats at the end if you need me to. Question one, who is the only obviously unmarried suspect in Cluedo? Who is the only obviously unmarried suspect in Cluedo? There's your first question for you then. There are some questions thrown in here that were inspired by suggestions from Diva in the Patreon group. For those of you who don't know, if you are a Patreon, you can request subjects for this show. You can request ideas or give me ideas for questions. In this case, which has happened, all the 3 quiz rounds have ideas suggested by Diva in. So we'll get to those soon. Question number 2, which birds gather collectively in a wake? Is it vultures, crows, or ravens? Question 2, which birds gather collectively in a wake? Is it vultures, crows, or ravens? Yes, just keeping an eye on your comments there. I've got several different screens to monitor at the minute, so hopefully things continue to go smoothly. Question number 3 is for 3 points. Put these awareness days into the correct order, which they fall in the UK. So earliest first. Father's Day, Grandparents' Day, and Mother's Day. Put these awareness days into the correct order, of which they fall in the UK, earliest first. Father's Day, Grandparents' Day, and Mother's Day. If you get them all in the right order, that's 3 points, okay? If you only get one in the right order, it's 1 point. Okay, question number 4 now. Question 4. Which statue stands on top of Mount Corcovado in Rio de Janeiro? I apologise to Brazilians if I said that slightly wrong. Which statue stands on top of Mount Corcovado in Rio de Janeiro? That's question number 4 for you in the pot round. I should also say, following feedback from last week, we are back up to 15 questions per round. Okay, because a lot of you, in fact, this feedback I got more than anything else is that you like the waffle on, you like the chat, you like the fact it's a 15 round question round and it goes on for a bit longer because it's more of an evening's entertainment, which I'm thoroughly delighted to hear. And humbled by some of the feedback I got. So, yeah, we're back to 15 questions per round. The only exception will be the Dingbats round, which will just be one image I show you at the same time. We'll talk more about that as we get closer to it. But the main 3 rounds, back to 15 questions. Okay, question number 5. This is the first one with a bit of inspiration from Diva's suggestions. I'm sure she'll work it out in a moment why. In which American states could you visit Fort Knox, not that bit, the home of Tamla Motown Records, and the headquarters of the CIA? So 3 different states for that one. In which American states can you visit Fort Knox, the home of Tamla Motown Records, and the headquarters of the CIA? 1 point for each. 3 different American states. Yeah, Tracy says hooray. Thanks, Chris. Well, thank you for the feedback. I mean, you're obviously one of them, so it's much appreciated. Okay, your next question. You'll still get to have the repeats at the end, of course, if I do run through them too quickly. Question number 6. Which US president famously had 2 10-pin bowling lanes installed in the White House? I'm going to give you multiple choice, okay? Which US president famously had 2 10-pin bowling lanes in separate parts of the building installed in the White House? Was it John F. Kennedy, Richard Nixon, or Jimmy Carter? John F. Kennedy, Richard Nixon, or Jimmy Carter? Who do you think out of those 3 was the biggest bowling fan that he had to have them installed in the White House? The reason he had 2 was because when he installed the first one, he found that the White House staff were playing quite a lot, and he liked to play with a bit more privacy and with smaller groups of people, I think. So he built a second one in the bunker of the White House so he could play separately to the rest of the staff. So there you go. I don't think they're both still there today. Certainly one of them isn't. Okay, question number 7 now is for 2 points. Which best-selling children's toys were originally called the Magic Cube and the Pluto Platter? Which best-selling children's toys were originally called the Magic Cube and the Pluto Platter? Pluto Platter is a very silly name. Not as silly as the real name, but it just doesn't sound right. But good luck with that. 1 point for each. 2 different toys, Magic Cube and Pluto Platter. What were they? Okay, question number 8 now. Question 8. Which American state is known as the Lone Star State? Which American state is known as the Lone Star State? Okay, next question then is a chemical elements question or chemical symbols. The chemical symbols of which 5 elements spell bad breath when placed next to each other? 1 point for each. The chemical symbols of which 5 elements spell bad breath when placed next to each other? 1 point for each as per usual. The chemical symbols of which 5 elements spell bad breath when they are placed next to each other? Okay, a few more multiple point questions coming up and a couple more questions as well, inspired by our Patreon requests. If you're interested in joining Patreon, by the way, link it will be in the description of this video, and I'll share it, of course, soon throughout the broadcast. Lots of different choices there. Okay, question number 10 now. Question 10. Cotton candy, sable, and moondrop are all types of which fruit? Cotton candy, sable, and moondrop are all types of which fruit? That's just for 1 point. All 3 of them are the same fruit, but what fruit for 1 point? Cotton candy, sable, and moondrop. Question 11 will be for 3 points. Question 11. Okay, question 11. What were the Beastie Boys, Leanne Rimes, and Cheryl Cole fighting for in the UK singles charts? What were the Beastie Boys, Leanne Rimes, and Cheryl Cole, or Cheryl, fighting for in the UK singles charts? 1 point for each correct song title or thing they were fighting for is fine. Plenty more of that kind of trivia coming up, obviously, when we get to the music trivia round later. But a little teaser for it there. Once again, that one, question 11. Beastie Boys, Leanne Rimes, and Cheryl Cole. What were they fighting for in the UK singles charts? 1 point for each. There were 3 different things. Okay, question 12. Which US president was a former World War II pilot who fell in love with skydiving when he was shot down and had to parachute to safety? It's a very strange time to fall in love with something when you're being shot at. But which US president was a former World War II pilot who fell in love with skydiving when he was shot down and had to parachute to safety? I won't give you multiple choice for this one, though. You just have to try and think which president could be around that age, could have fallen in love with skydiving, at least during World War II, and then go on to be president. So yeah, have a think about that one. And then I'll give you some interesting little information, little tidbits of information about that when I reveal the answer. So name that US president. Question number 13 is for 3 points. And this is one where you got to put the answers in the correct order, okay? So put these Bugatti supercars into the correct order with the earliest produced first. The Chiron, the Divo, and the Veyron. Put these Bugatti supercars into the correct order with the earliest produced first. The Chiron, the Divo, and the Veyron. Earliest produced first. 2 more questions left. And then you can let me know in the comments which ones you want me to repeat. Then I'll do the answers. And I'll also tell you the answers for the pictures. Don't forget to keep an eye on those pictures. See if you can work out what those are, which celebrities' faces have been merged in those pictures. That's the theme, if you like, of the pictures we're doing throughout this evening for those first 3 rounds. So you'll have more of these to come. I do have more of them, so if you do like them, I can do more of these next week. Question 14 is for 3 more points again. What words do the British give to what American citizens call sneakers, a tux, and a vest? What words do the British give to what Americans or US citizens call sneakers, a tux, and a vest? Tracy says, love the pictures. Good. I've been trying to think of pictures that will be good, relatively easy to work out, not too complicated to look at, and wouldn't distract too much from the main quiz, but just be there in the background that you could keep an eye on them. And I think these kind of ones are a good start. So yeah, don't get me wrong. If you don't like them, again, I'd like to know that kind of feedback too, and I'll keep mixing it up. But it's good to know that some of you are liking these. Right, your last question then, and then let me know repeats that you need in the comments, please, if you need any. Question 15 for a final 3 points. Which are the 3 biggest hotel chains in the UK? Which are the 3 biggest hotel chains in the UK? So 1 point for each. You do not need to put those in order. All right, I'm not going to ask for that, but I will tell you the order, at least at time of writing. But you don't need to write them in order. You'll just get 1 point for each. So that's the end of the potluck round. Could you please, if you don't mind, let me know if you would like any repeats in the comments. Just tell me the numbers and I'll call them out for you. Apologies if it sounds like a herd of elephants is roaming around upstairs. It's always the way when kids run upstairs, isn't it? They have to stamp as loud as they can for no reason. Yes, that is what happens. Hopefully you don't hear too much of that though. Okay, yeah, so let me know. In a minute, I will go through the answers and I will also reveal not just the answers to the potluck round, but the answers to the pictures as well. And you can have 4 points in total for those onto your tally. No requests have come in just yet, but that's fine. That is absolutely fine. What I will do, though, is share the first link of the evening. I will do that for you. I've got lots of different screens here. Number 10 as a request has just come in. That's fine. Thanks for that. I will do that for you. And 13. Yeah, no problem. Keep them coming in. Right, so I've just shared a link in the chat, which is also in the description, which is for the nominated charity for Big Quiz Night In, which is Secret Santa 365. If you fancy doing something charitable in return for the quizzes I provide, you can click that link, have a look at their information, see what they do, and feel free to donate if you can. Okay, right, so let's do some repeats then. Question number 10 was, cotton candy, sable, and moondrop are all types of which fruit? All 3 of them are the same kind of fruit. And then question 13 was, put these Bugatti supercars into the correct order with the earliest produced first, the Chiron, the Divo, and the Veyron. Earliest produced first. Put them in order. And then you get 3 points in total if you get them all correct. No more calls for repeats have come in. I imagine you've got a bit of thinking to do with some of those questions, though. I am going to go through the answers. This is your last chance to get any repeats in before I reveal the answers, and I will show you or tell you the answers for the pictures as well. Let's see how you do. Okay. All right, I'm going to call it then. Unless I haven't read it out and the message comes in, then we're going to go through the answers now. Question 1 then. Who is the only obviously unmarried suspect in Cluedo? It is Miss Scarlet, because she's a miss. Question 2. Which birds gather collectively in a wake? Is it vultures, crows, or ravens? It is a wake of vultures. Murder of crows and a conspiracy of ravens. So 1 point for a wake of vultures. Question 3, the awareness days, put them in the correct order in which they fall in the UK. We had Father's Day, Grandparents' Day, and Mother's Day. In the correct order, earliest first, it is Mother's Day in March, Father's Day in June, Grandparents' Day in October. Excuse me. Question 4, which statue stands on top of Mount Corcovado in Rio de Janeiro? It is Christ the Redeemer. Question 5, in which American states can you visit Fort Knox, the home of Tamla Motown Records and headquarters of the CIA? It is Kentucky, Michigan, and Virginia. The next question was number 6. Which US president famously had 2 10-pin bowling lanes installed in the White House? Was it JFK, Richard Nixon, or Jimmy Carter? It was Richard Nixon. Yeah, the second one was more private and underground. Okay, question number 7. Which best-selling children's toys were originally called the Magic Cube and the Pluto Platter, Rubik's Cube, and the Frisbee? Sorry guys, tickly throat, too much talking again today. With work, not just in general. Question 8, which American state is known as the Lone Star State? That is Texas. Question 9, the chemicals of which 5 elements spell bad breath when placed next to each other? It is barium, dubnium, rhenium, astatine, and hydrogen. For 5 points, barium, dubnium, rhenium, astatine, and hydrogen. Okay, let's just go through to the next one. Oh, dearie me. One of those days today. Okay, next question was about the cotton candy, sable, and moondrop. They are all types of which fruit? It is grapes. They are all types of grapes. Question 11, the 3 songs. Beastie Boys were Fighting for Your Right to Party, Leanne Rimes, Can't Fight the Moonlight, and Cheryl Cole, Fight for This Love. So Party, Moonlight, and Love. Question 12, which US president was a former World War II pilot who fell in love with skydiving when he was shot down and had to parachute to safety? It was George H.W. Bush. So senior there, obviously. George H.W. Bush. He actually did it in 1997 at the age of 72, and then he did it again for his 75th, his 80th, his 85th, and 90th birthdays. But in total, he did 8 skydives in his later years. Amazing. The Bugatti supercars for question 13, the correct order for them: in 2001, the Veyron, then in 2016, the Chiron, then in 2019, the Diva. So 3 points if you got them all exactly right, 1 point if you had one in the right order, but then missed the other 2. Question 14, the US citizens call sneakers, tux, and a vest. What do we call them? It's training shoes or trainers. A dinner jacket is a tux, and a waistcoat is a vest. And finally, question 15, which are the 3 biggest hotel chains in the UK? Third place is Holiday Inn, second place is Travelodge, first place, Premier Inn. Again, you could write those in any order. You get 1 point for each, though, regardless of the order you wrote them in for that question. So that's those answers. Tally them up. Before you let me know in the comments how well you did, though, the answers to the picture round, or pictures, So on the left of your screen there, you have John Travolta and Tom Cruise. And the one next to it, the one on the right of your screen then is George Clooney and Tom Hanks. How did you get on? 1 point for each of those as well. Did you get all of those faces in the pictures? And how many points did you get in total for that round? Add the picture round scores onto your potluck round scores. But feel free to also let me know how you got on with the pictures specifically if you wish. And then we'll move on to the TV and films round. And you'll be seeing 2 more pictures there as well. So the same question will be asked of those pictures. Who are the 2 celebrity faces that have been morphed together, merged together, however you want to word it. So another 4 extra points up for grabs. I think the last ones you're going to see for the music round, I think those ones are my favourites if I remember rightly. Okay, Fantastic Four scored 24 and all 4 points for the pictures, so 28. Excellent, good job. 24 points for Diva, good score there. Maddie says they got all the faces okay. Donuts got 25 points, 25 for the Brazilians. 25 points, excellent. 4 points for the pictures, says Diva, excellent, well done. Maddie's got 29 points in total. 18 for the quiz, 4 for the pictures, 22 points. Well done, Luke and Jane. Jenny Bath says Team Bath have got 24 for round 1 plus the 4 for the pictures, so 28 as well. Gabby's got 29 in total. Excellent job. Really good scores coming in there, guys. Well done. Really good to see that. Not so golden oldies, 21 and 2 for the pictures. Good job. All really good scores. Keep those coming in, guys. If there's any that I haven't read out yet, keep them coming in. Even if we've moved on to the next round, I'll read them out. And remember, if you're watching a repeat viewing of this right now, because I will be posting this onto the Facebook page properly once this live broadcast is finished. So if you're watching a repeat of this, keep the comments coming in. I'll respond to them as I see them whenever I can. So do let me know how you got on as well. Right, let's flick on now to the next round, TV and films. Okay, and TV and films, you've got a slightly more amusing picture there on the left, most definitely. The one on the right, I think, just looks like a real person. I don't think it looks merged at all. But yeah, once you know who it is, it all makes sense. But the one on the left is hilarious. But I hope you get them all anyway. But that's the TV and films round we're going to move into now, and you've got those pictures to work on as well. So 15 questions, TV and films is the subject. Again, thank you to Diva for some suggestions this week. So you will find yourself enjoying question 15 in particular in this round for your request for this one. I quite enjoyed reminiscing and putting that particular question together, but I'm sure we'll talk about it more as we get to it. Right, so here we go. 15 more questions. Keep the answers to yourselves, as always. Question number 1. Which sweets invited you to taste the rainbow? According to the TV ad, which sweets invited you to taste the rainbow? Got a score in there from Millie, 13 points. Very well done. Good job. It's always a bit trickier when you're quizzing on your own, so fair play. Really appreciate you watching, as always, mate. Okay, question number 2 is for 2 points. Which films earned Robert Downey Jr. and Anne Hathaway a 2020 nomination for the Golden Raspberry for Worst Actor and Worst Actress? Different films, they weren't in one together. But which films earned Robert Downey Jr. and Anne Hathaway a 2020 nomination for Golden Raspberry for the Worst Actor and Worst Actress? The Robert Downey Jr. one actually quite upsets me because we really enjoyed that film. I won't say any more than that until I reveal the answer. But we had a lot of fun with it. So I'm surprised at that one. But yeah, that's Hollywood, I guess. So 1 point for the Robert Downey Jr. film and 1 point for the Anne Hathaway film. Okay, question number 3. Question 3 is for 3 points. So put these children's movies into the correct order with the earliest released first. Peter Rabbit, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Paddington. Put these children's movies into the correct order with the earliest released first. Peter Rabbit, Sonic the Hedgehog, Paddington. I've seen all of those films. Very much enjoyed them with the kids, although Peter Rabbit, least of the three, I will say. Yeah. Bit dark for Peter Rabbit. It was a bit dark, that story, for me. Just didn't see the need in certain choices they made in the story. But it was all right. The other two were fun, though. Paddington's brilliant in particular. Question number 4 now for 2 points. Purely coincidental that I'm wearing a Star Wars t-shirt, and this next question is about Star Wars. Mind you, considering the kind of t-shirts I own, odds are I normally am wearing one. But here we go anyway. For 2 points, which 2 actors have played Obi-Wan Kenobi on film in Star Wars? Which 2 actors have played Obi-Wan Kenobi on film in Star Wars? Okay, next question. Question 5. Piers Morgan walked off the set of which TV show after making controversial comments about Meghan Markle? Piers Morgan walked off the set of which TV show after making controversial comments about Meghan Markle? Make all the jokes you want about that one. Okay. Question 6 is for 3 points. Simon Cowell has been a judge on which 3 British TV series? Simon Cowell has been a judge on which 3 British TV series? 1 point for each. You don't have to put them in order, obviously, but just name the 3. Okay, moving on to question 7. Which film came first between Thor and Man of Steel? Which film came first between Thor and Man of Steel? So 1 Marvel movie, 1 DC film, but which one came first, Thor or Man of Steel? Okay. At the halfway point of the round, loads of multiple point questions. As usual, loads of points up for grabs. Question 8 then. Which movies were first to feature these songs? Lose Yourself, The Candyman, and Skid Row. Which movies were first to feature these songs? Lose Yourself, The Candyman, and Skid Row. 1 point for each. Okay, on to question 9. You will, of course, get thinking time at the end of the round. You can always ask me to repeat questions, even if you don't need them, just to get a bit more thinking time if you wanted to. No problem. Question 9. What is the name of the man who created Wallace and Gromit? Along with other great characters, but what is the name of the man who created Wallace and Gromit? Right, on to question 10. Name the only woman to have won the Best Director Oscar, and for which film? Name the only woman to have won the Best Director Oscar, and for which film? 1 point for each there. Okay, question 11 is for 3 points. Jack Black has voiced characters in which 3 animated movies or franchises? Jack Black has voiced characters in which 3 animated movies or franchises? 2 of the 3, I'll give you a bit of a clue here. 2 of the 3 are franchises, as in there's been more than one movie and various other forms of media made about it. The other one was a one-off film. So Jack Black has voiced characters in which 3 animated movies or franchises, 1 point for each. Question number 12. Question 12. Meghan Markle made her name by co-starring in which US legal TV drama? Meghan Markle made her name by co-starring in which US legal TV drama? Okay, right, let's move on then to number 13. Which TV character had a UK hit single with Mambo number 5? Which TV character had a hit single in the UK with Mambo number 5? Question 14 is for 3 more points. Who played the title roles in Joker, Finding Dory, and The Martian? Who played the title roles in Joker, Finding Dory, and The Martian? One point for each. The last question will be for 3 points as well. This is that one from a subject requested by Diva again. So question 15. Put these Australian soap stars into the correct order with the most appearances first. Carl and Susan Kennedy from Neighbours. They count as one because they've done the same amount. Alf Stewart in Home and Away. And Irene Roberts in Home and Away. So put them in order. Put those soap stars in the correct order with the most appearances first. These characters, okay? Carl and Susan Kennedy from Neighbours, Alf Stewart from Home and Away, and Irene Roberts from Home and Away. Most appearances first. So that's the end of that round. Let me know if you've got any questions that you want repeated. There's a lot of multiple point questions there again. Excuse me. So it's totally fine if you want me to repeat any questions. Whilst we go through that, thank you, Diva. I'm glad you like it. Those are, by the way, the technically top 4 characters. But like I said, Carl and Susan Kennedy have appeared in for the same amount of time, have been in the show for the same amount of time, so they can count as one. But those are the top 3 out of both the soaps. So yeah, see if you can put them in the right order, and I'll tell you for each of them how many years. When I give you the answer, how many years they've respectively been on the shows. Okay, so any more questions need repeating, let me know. The next thing for me to do is to remind you of where you can support me and find all the ways Big Quiz Night In can be supported. So I'll put that in the chat now. As a reminder to everybody, it is in the description as well. There you go. It's called a Beacons link. So you click on that Beacons link and it'll show you a list of all the different places where you can follow Big Quiz Night In or support me in pretty much anywhere. There's loads of different things on there now. They're in some kind of priority order, I think. But yeah, if you ever wonder where it is, it's normally just Big Quiz Night In. But at the same time, the links directly to it are there all in one handy space for you. So yeah, please feel free to do that. Especially become one of the 3,000 plus now on TikTok, because that's been so much fun when I've not had bugs in the system to deal with. But it is great fun. So yeah, I never thought I'd get to the point where I enjoyed another platform as much as I do bringing this show to you, but it's right up there. It's great fun to do it. Okay, I'm not seeing any requests for repeats. So in a moment, I'm going to go through those answers. And of course, I will reveal the answers for those pictures as well. This, I think, I don't know how you guys feel, but I think the pictures were a little bit trickier on this one. A little bit trickier. Um, the next ones, there's one on the next page, which is just, again, quite funny. So we'll see what you think about that. I'll give you another few seconds. If I don't see any requests come in, then I'll crack on with the answers. Right. Cheers. Right, okay, let's go through the answers then, guys, because I've not seen any more come in. So, question one, which sweets invited you to taste the rainbow? It is Skittles. For 1 point, Skittles. Question two, which films earned Robert Downey Jr. and Anne Hathaway a 2020 nomination for Golden Raspberry for Worst Actor and Actress? I'm really distraught about this. Robert Downey Jr. was nominated for the Golden Raspberry for Worst Actor for Doolittle. For Doolittle. I don't know if you've seen it. It's really fun. It's fine. I don't understand it. Anne Hathaway for The Witches. Now, I didn't see that, but I wasn't happy with how it looked anyway, because I loved the original one. And I was just like, no. So I didn't see that one. I won't comment on it other than that. But Doolittle shocked me, because that was a fun family film. Right, question three. Put these children's movies into the correct order with the earliest release first. The three I gave you were Peter Rabbit, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Paddington. The first one to be released was Paddington in 2014. Then it was Peter Rabbit in 2018, and then Sonic the Hedgehog in 2020, all of which have sequels that have been released since then or are due to be released. In case you're enjoying those movies and would like to know more, there you go. Idris Elba is going to be in the sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog randomly. Question four. Which two actors have played Obi-Wan Kenobi on film in Star Wars? So originally it was the legendary actor Alec Guinness, or Sir Alec Guinness. And more recently, from the prequels right up to date, it is Ewan McGregor, who's played the younger Obi-Wan on film. And soon to be on TV. There's going to be a show of it on Disney Plus. Very excited about that. Question five now. Piers Morgan walked off the set of which TV show after making controversial comments about Meghan Markle? It was Good Morning Britain. And how I laughed. Question, not that I watch it, but I saw a clip of it and that was enough. Question six. Simon Cowell has been judge on which three British TV series? Pop Idol, Britain's Got Talent, and The X Factor. 1 point for each. Question seven. Which film came first, Thor or Man of Steel? It is Thor that was first. 2011 compared to 2013. Thor was first. Excuse me. Right, question eight. Which movies were first to feature these songs? Lose Yourself, The Candyman, and Skid Row. Lose Yourself was in 8 Mile. Brilliant film. Loosely based on Eminem's life. Probably more accurate than people were told to believe. But brilliant film. The Candyman is a song from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And Skid Row is from Little Shop of Horrors. Or at least that's where the songs appeared first. Question number 9. What is the name of the man who created Wallace and Gromit? That is Nick Park. Question 10. The only woman to have won the Best Director Oscar, and for which film, was Catherine Bigelow for The Hurt Locker. Well deserved. Very good film again. Question 11. Jack Black has voiced characters in which 3 animated movies or franchises? It is Ice Age, Shark Tale, and Kung Fu Panda. Question 12. Meghan Markle made her name by co-starring in which US legal TV drama? It is Suits. Question 13. Which TV character had a UK hit single with Mambo number 5? It is Bob the Builder. Question 14. Who played the title roles in Joker, Finding Dory, and The Martian? That is Joaquin Phoenix, played the Joker. Dory was played by Ellen DeGeneres, and Matt Damon was the Martian. Question 15. Put these Australian soap stars or characters into the correct order with the most appearances first. The three I gave you to choose from were the Kennedys, Carl and Susan, Alf Stewart, and Irene Roberts. So, Alf Stewart has been in Home and Away for 33 years. Yes, really. He's the longest serving cast member across both those shows. Then it was Irene Roberts with 28 years. And then with 27 years, it's Carl and Susan Kennedy. So there's your order. Alf, then Irene, then Carl and Susan. Thank you for making the requests that you did, Diva. Much appreciated. Patreons, get in the Facebook group. Let me know what you would like next time as well. There's a few more requests included in the pop music trivia round, which we'll move on to in just a moment. But I'm sure you're all excited to find out now who are in those pictures. So the bearded one on the left is Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. And the one on the right is Rihanna and Katy Perry. So same again, let me know how you got on. Tally up those scores. You can tell me separately how you did with the pictures again if you want to, or just add it all together and let me know in the comments. Let's see how well you did. And then we'll be moving on to our music trivia round. If you want me to repeat any of those answers as well, I can do that. Again, that's no problem at all. Team Bath say 18 for round 2 plus 3 for the pictures, so 21. Good. That's a good effort. Maddie says enjoyed that, but it was hard. Some tricky questions there. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, they're only easy if you know the answer, aren't they? So, yeah. Donuts have scored 23 using our bonus point for that one. Yes, very good. Yeah, entitled, of course. You're absolutely entitled to do that. Loving the pictures, we got them all right again. Total of 24 for the Fantastic Four. Very good, Tracy. Well done to the Fantastic Four. Luke and Jane, 17 points for that round, plus the 4 picture points. Well done. Maddie's got 17 plus 2 of them for the pictures. Not so golden oldies, 13 points plus 1 for the pictures equals 14. Oh, never mind. That's okay. It's all good scores, guys. Don't you worry. We're just here to have fun, aren't we? So it's great to find out how well you get on, though, with these. 20 points for Diva and 2 out of the 4 for pictures. 27 in total for Gabby. Loving the pictures, she says. Great. Thank you for that. Millie's got 11 points there. Well done. I think that's about all of them coming in for now. But again, if there's any I've missed, or there won't be any I've missed because I've seen them all come in. If there's any more to come in, please do carry on posting those comments. Right. We're going to move on then to round 3, which will be the music trivia round. There will be 2 more pictures, just like we've had already on that page. And the same applies. Work out who those celebrities are that have been merged together for both of them. And then we're going to move on to the Dingbats round after that. So, yeah, here we go. Right, here he is then. This is brilliant. I think the one on the left is going to be trickier. But hopefully the one on the right, you get maybe at least 1.4. Let's see. But yeah, these are simultaneously the trickiest and my favourites, I think. So let's see how you get on. Yes, Maddie's saying, wow, well done, Gabriella. Yeah. For those who don't know, Gabby is a regular attendee of my pub quizzes. So, and her and her team will generally do very well. So, yeah, not that I'm expecting high scores from you every single quiz round, but, well, maybe I am. Okay, so you can see the pictures there. Good luck with those ones. And, of course, good luck with this music round. The questions from Diva that she wanted were Motown-related questions. So anytime you hear Motown through this round, you can thank her. And we don't actually do a lot of questions specifically about Motown music, I don't think. So I've put 2 or 3 different Motown-related ones in here, and we'll see how you get on with that. Okay, so same again, keep the answers to yourself, and then we'll go through them at the end. You can ask me to repeat questions as well. Gabby says I watch a lot of TV and film. No worries. Okay, here we go then with question number one. Which act or group was the most successful in the charts for Motown Records? I'll give you three to choose from: Stevie Wonder, Jackson 5, or Diana Ross and the Supremes. I'll say that one again for you. Which act or group was the most successful in the charts for Motown Records? Was it Stevie Wonder, Jackson 5, or Diana Ross and the Supremes? Question number two. Which pop star had an album hit with Escapology in 2002? Which pop star had an album hit with Escapology in 2002? I think I'm saying that right. I'm going to put it in the chat. I've always said it as Escapology, but I'll put it in the chat for you. There you go. And that was a pop star. Okay, so a solo act. Question number three, then. Question three. You'll if you're regulars, then you'll know during music rounds when we have 15 questions in them, there's normally a question about 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s or noughties music. Okay, the 60s one I've turned into a Motown and 60s one. So, question three: which Motown acts had the best-selling 60s UK hit singles called "For Once in My Life," "Pride and Joy," and "My Girl"? Which Motown acts had the best-selling 60s hit singles called "For Once in My Life," "Pride and Joy," and "My Girl"? Right, question number four. What was the title of Kylie Minogue's first solo UK #1 hit single? What was the title of Kylie Minogue's first solo UK #1 hit single? Question five. Which song by which act charted around the world after the film called The Breakfast Club came out? Which song by which act charted around the world after the film The Breakfast Club came out? That's for 2 points. Question number six then is our 70s music question. Which acts had the best-selling 1970s singles called Get It On, Heart of Glass, and Seven Seas of Rye? Question six again. Which acts had the best-selling 1970s singles called Get It On, Heart of Glass, and Seven Seas of Rye? It's another 3 points there. Question number seven now. Question seven. What was the title of the X Factor winner Alexandra Burke's debut hit single? What was the title of the X Factor winner Alexandra Burke's debut hit single? Question eight now. Question number eight. Which act made the UK singles chart first between Bon Jovi and Guns N' Roses? Which act made the UK singles chart first between Bon Jovi and Guns N' Roses? There's actually 2 years apart between them. Normally these things are 1 year apart when we do these kind of questions, but this one, 2 years apart. Question number 9 is for 3 more points. Which acts had the 1980s hit singles called Man Eater, Labour of Love, and Free Nelson Mandela? Nearly said that the wrong way round. Yes, I will slow down a little. Don't worry, and I'll do repeats. Of course, I'll repeat. Question number 9, I'll say that one again. Which acts had the 1980s hit singles called Man Eater, Labour of Love, and Free Nelson Mandela? 1 point for each there. I'll give you a bit of time to catch up, actually, if I've gone through those too quickly. Again, let me know at the end. I'll go back and repeat any of them you need me to. One thing I'll remind you of, though, as I give you that time to catch up, please don't forget while you're here to give the video a like or any kind of positive emoji reactions. All little things like that help out the channel. So if you are enjoying the content, of course, do that kind of thing, please. It's much appreciated. And I've got a little screen here now. I get little notifications of things like that. I don't normally get to see it until after the show, depending on how I'm watching. But yeah, it's nice to know that these little plugins and things I'm using here to run the show now are working as well. So if you haven't already, please do give it a like. And also make sure you're following the page. You might every now and then get a notification from me because there's a difference on Facebook between following and liking a page. I don't know why they've done it separately like that. There is a difference between the two, but you might want to make sure you're doing both, because if you get a little invite from me, it's because you don't do one or the other. So, and I only get an option to invite you to do one of the two. It's very strange, this platform sometimes, but there you go. Okay, the next question then is question number 10. By what name is Sir Thomas Woodward better known in pop music? By what name is Sir Thomas Woodward better known in pop music? Okay, question 11 is for 3 points. Question 11. Which hit singles by My Chemical Romance, Amy Winehouse, and Sam Sparro have the word black in them? Which hit singles by My Chemical Romance, Amy Winehouse, and Sam Sparro have the word black in them? Okay. Question number, where are we now? Question number 12. Question 12 is for another 3 points. Which 3 acts had the best-selling 1990s hit singles called She's Electric, Love Fool, and Going for Gold? Which 3 acts had the best-selling 1990s hit singles called She's Electric, Love Fool, and Going for Gold? There's another 3 points available there for you. Oh, do you know, I've done that thing again where I've totally missed the fact my merch store had a discount on. If there's any last minute purchases you want to make, 15% off everything expires today. So you've got until midnight. There's many different designs on there now on my merch store. I put some new ones up there not so long ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different designs on the merch store. 15% off of everything at the moment. I wish they sent better notifications of when they did these things. I don't get to choose when they do them, you see. There's normally 1 or 2 a month. Yeah, one of them's literally just about to finish tonight. Diva, good to know. I don't think Diva wears anything else other than my merch sometimes. She's brilliant. Oh god, it's yeah, it all helps. Every way you support me, however you choose to do it, even if it's just liking stuff I do, it all helps. But yeah, there is a 15% off at the merch store at the minute. Link is in the description. That's another thing there, behind the beacon that I shared earlier. Question number 13, I think we're on now. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death is the opening line to which amazing original hit by which act? Absolute tune. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death is the opening line to which original hit single by which act? It was very difficult to say that line without saying it somewhat like it's in the song. It always is when it comes to lyrics related questions. I wonder how you're getting on with those pictures. I wonder as well. That's not a clue, by the way. It's definitely not a clue. But I do keep looking at them going, oh, I wonder if they're going to get these ones. I think these are the hardest of them all so far. Okay, question number 14 then. Question 14. The Mechanics, The Dreamers, and Crazy Horse were which act's backing band? The Mechanics, The Dreamers, and Crazy Horse were which act's backing bands? We've just got one more question left. I know I'm going to need to do repeats again. That is totally fine. So be ready to put them in the comments. In fact, you can start putting them in now if you want me to say others and just line them up so they're ready to go when I finish this question. But I will give you some thinking time, of course. Question 15. Oh, Tracy says stumped with one of the female faces this time. Yeah, it is tricky. I had to double check the answers just to make sure it was who I thought it was. But yeah, it is a trickier one. Right, sorry. Question 15. Which three acts had the best-selling noughties singles called Fat Lip, Speed of Sound, and Chelsea Dagger? Which three acts had the best-selling noughties singles called Fat Lip, Speed of Sound, and Chelsea Dagger? There we go. That's the end of the music trivia round. Put those repeat requests in the comments, please. I'll try and think whilst I give you that thinking time if there's anything else I need to talk to you about. I'm not entirely sure there is much more to say. Oh, I do still have notebooks as well. I do still have notebooks. I can't show you one now. I don't know. Oh, they might be actually down here. Yes, I can. This will pass the time. There we go, look. Big quiz night in notebooks. I've got some left still. If anybody's interested, perfect. Shameless plug, but perfect for writing down the answers to the very quiz you're watching. You know, I think it's if you're interested in these, you just need the PayPal link in the beacon link that I talked about earlier and bang on about a lot. And they're £8 delivered as long as you're mainland UK. Okay, so that's all that is. If you want one of those notebooks, it's glossy. They're good quality notebooks. £8 delivered to your door. So you just need to ping me via PayPal, and then you can message me on Facebook and we can discuss delivery. Okay. Oh, look, Maddie says I'm using mine now. Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely to hear. Okay, question 8. Question 8 needs to be repeated for Team Bath. Now, question 8 was, which act made the UK singles chart first, Bon Jovi or Guns N' Roses? And I did say at the time there's a 2-year gap between them. Which act made the UK singles chart first, Bon Jovi or Guns N' Roses? Would anybody else like a question repeated? And make sure you've written down your guesses for the pictures. Your guesses for the picture round. For both of those, 2 celebrity faces in each have been merged together. Oh, Jan's joined us. Didn't make it for today for the full quiz, but I have to say this new setup is awesome. Oh, thanks, mate. In case you missed it, the pictures are there just to go along, so you've got something to look at and play along with whilst I'm doing the actual question rounds. So I'll reveal the answers for the pictures, who those celebrity faces are that have been mashed together at the end of each question round. And then we're going to do some dingbats after this, which will be fun too. And I'll explain that in a moment as well. I'm still debating the best way to work those ones out. I think we might do dingbats and get you to write the answers in the comments, to be honest. Maybe I'll give you a minute to think about it and then I'll get you to put them in the comments. We'll see. We'll hold fire on that though. In this light, your beard looks even more epic. Ah, thank you. Excellent. I tell you what, the camera cut, the color, the lighting, the gamma, the contrast, all those things is probably the one thing I played around with the most to try and get it right. And I still think it's not quite right. So I'll just keep tweaking it. It looks fine here, but when I see it come back on there, yeah, it's not quite right. But I'm doing the best I can. I'm glad you could be here. Right, let's go through the answers then, because nobody's asked for any more repeats. I thought I'd get more than that, but it's no problem. So, pop music trivia. Question number 1. Which act or group was the most successful in the charts for Motown Records? It is, the 3 I gave you to choose from were Stevie Wonder, Jackson 5, and Diana Ross and the Supremes. The most successful for Motown Records was Diana Ross and the Supremes. I thought it would be the Jackson 5, but then I remember that they actually left Motown Records and they moved, I looked it up, they moved to Epic Records and became the Jacksons. So they had to change their name. And then that probably meant that their career obviously was very, very good, but they didn't actually get as much as Diana Ross did with Motown. And Stevie Wonder wasn't far off either, in fairness. Question 2, which pop star had an album hit with Escapology in 2002? That was one of Robbie Williams' albums. That was a good one, actually, as far as his music goes. I remember liking that. Question 3, which Motown acts had the best-selling 60s singles called For Once in My Life? That was Stevie Wonder. Pride and Joy was by Marvin Gaye. And My Girl by The Temptations. Classic song, that one. I love that song. Question 4, what was the title of Kylie Minogue's first solo UK #1 hit single? It was I Should Be So Lucky. Question 5, which song by which act charted around the world after the film The Breakfast Club came out? It was Don't You Forget About Me by Simple Minds. Another great song. Question 6, which acts had the best-selling 1970s singles called Get It On, Heart of Glass, and 7 Seas of Rye? T-Rex, Blondie, and Queen. Question 7, what was the title of the X Factor winner Alexandra Burke's debut hit single? It was Hallelujah. Question 8, which act made the UK singles chart first between Bon Jovi and Guns N' Roses? With 1986 compared to 1988, Bon Jovi hit the UK singles chart first. Question 9, which acts had the 1980s hit singles called Man Eater, Labour of Love, and Free Nelson Mandela? Man Eater is by Hall & Oates, great song. Labour of Love is by Hue and Cry, it's also a good song. And Free Nelson Mandela was by Special, a.k.a. Oh, Andy's just joined us. He did say it'd be a bit late. Just come off the daily training I'm doing. A bit tired right now. Hope you enjoy the quiz. The new look is just fine. See you all next week. It's worth catching up. There's been some good stuff tonight. I hope you do have a glance through the video at some point, Andy. Glad you could drop by and say hello. Appreciate that a lot. Okay, the next one was number 10. By what name is Sir Thomas Woodward better known in pop music? That is Tom Jones. If only I'd got here for this round. Yeah, that was Tom Jones. Okay, question 11. Which hit singles by My Chemical Romance, Amy Winehouse, and Sam Sparrow have the word black in them? It's Welcome to the Black Parade, Back to Black, and Black and Gold. Question 12. Which three acts had the best-selling 1990s hit singles called She's Electric, Love Fool, and Going for Gold? She's Electric by Oasis, my favourite Oasis song, definitely. Love Fool is by the Cranberries and in the 90s, and Going for Gold by Shed 7. Question 13. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death is the opening line to Gangster's Paradise by Coolio. It's also from the movie Dangerous Minds, which is a good film too. So yeah. Question number 14. The Mechanics, the Dreamers, and Crazy Horse were which acts backing bands? It is Mike and the Mechanics, Freddie and the Dreamers, and Neil Young and Crazy Horse. Yeah, Love Fool is the Cardigans. Cardigans 2 says. I'm sure it is that as well. But that's the answer I've got here. Let me just check, though, if they did a version as well. I think that might just be a typo in the quiz round I've been given, to be honest. But let me just check. I'll verify it on the official UK chart website, because this is one thing I didn't get time to check, actually, in the build-up to today. The last question, whilst I do that, while you tally up your scores, I'll give you the answers and then I'll double-check it. You might get yourself a bonus point. Right, question 15. Which three acts had the best-selling naughty singles called Fat Lip, Speed of Sound, and Chelsea Dagger? Fat Lip is by Sum 41, Speed of Sound is by Coldplay, and Chelsea Dagger is by the Fratellis. In terms of the pictures, the picture on the left, excuse me, is Scarlett Johansson and Natalie Portman. And the picture on the right is 50 Cent and Shaquille O'Neal, the basketball star, Shaquille O'Neal. So yeah, there you go. Tally up those scores. Love Fool is definitely by the Cardigans. I do know they've done a song called Love Fool. I just want to see whether that is a typo or if there's something else going on there as well. So let's look up title. Hold on. And if it's just them, then it's absolutely right. Yes, it's charted twice by Cardigans. So yeah, apologies for that. Give yourself the point for Cardigans, please, for Love Fool. Good. All right. So yeah, add all those scores together. Then 4 points for the pitches, and then we'll move on to a fun little bonus round, which will be quite quick, I think. There's only the 4 pitches really to look at, but again, still experimenting with how I want this to work. We'll see how it goes. Typo there from Catherine, maybe. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. 15 points plus 2 for the pitches for Diva. Well done. Good job. That's a good score. Donuts have got themselves 23 points. Maddie's got 17 plus 0 for the pitches. Yeah, I did say some of those pitches were going to be tough. So no problem there, but good score on the music. 18 plus 2 points for Luke. Well done. Fantastic. 4 scored 25, but only 2 for the pitches. 6 plus 2 for Millie. Well done, mate. Good effort. Any more scores coming in, please do let me know. Here's Team Bath's score as well. 17 points plus 2 for Team Bath. Your boyfriend even helped this time. Oh, no. Come on. I mean, in fairness, there's a lot of older music there. And if you haven't got older people helping you in the team, or people who know a lot about older music, I don't know. Maybe that's why. 24 points in total for Gabby. Scarjo is my girl crush. Would recognise that face anywhere. Brilliant. Yes, big fan of hers from the Marvel films in particular. Sorry about the typo. Yes, no problem, Catherine. Just don't forget to put your score in if you haven't already. Not so golden oldies. There it is. It's just come up. 14, none for the picks. Yeah, I thought this would be the toughest of the pitches. I did. So if any more come in, I'll read them out. But I am about to move you on to the Dingbats round, okay? So just to finish off, what's going to happen as I transition to the next page is you're going to see 4 Dingbat clues. Dingbats are pictorial, graphical, or... yeah, they're pictures that represent famous phrases, okay? So you get 1 point for each. Just to close off the show, And I think what I'll do is I'll give you a little bit of thinking time, and then I'll ask if you want to, you can put the answers in the comments, or you can start guessing in the comments. But we'll give it a minute, and then I'll tell you when to start putting them in, okay? So let's move us on then to round 4, the Dingbats round. Okay. So there we go then. You've got 4 there. Let's see how many of you can work out. Like I said, don't put anything in the comments just yet in terms of your guesses. But what do you think? I just felt like it needed something to finish off the show. I told you I wanted to change up the format a bit of the show. We tried 10 questions, but you all pretty much universally wanted to go back to 15. So we had that longer show together, which is fine. I got my heart set pretty much at the minute on doing 4 rounds like it is here. As long as I've got the content to present to you each week and the time to prepare it all. So what do you think about Dingbats as one possible thing we can continue to do every week to finish off the quiz? I mean, it might just be pictures. It might carry on a picture theme. Might be something different. But I think this is a bit of fun. I found this one, and we've done Dingbats before as handout rounds and things I've shared separately. So yeah, what could they be? So they're all representing different phrases. You don't get the game. Okay, that's fine, Jenny. Regulars to my quizzes in person will know exactly what it is. All four of those are different clues to a common phrase. So think of it like catchphrase. Have you ever heard or seen catchphrase as a game show before? I hope you have. So the one in the top left, for example, it looks like it says the word easy, right? But it's spelt slightly differently. So what phrase could that be? On the top right, you've got what looks like the word Gibraltar, but there's also a star there. So it's not Gibraltar. It's a cryptic clue for something else, a phrase. Okay. Diva says, thanks so much for incorporating my suggestions. A great quiz, enhanced by the new formats and enhancements. Oh, brilliant. I'm glad you like that. Thank you. We've really enjoyed tonight, Chris. Back to 15 questions, pictures and Dingbats. Thank you. That's great. All right. Well, you've had time to look at it now. Start putting some guesses if you want in the comments. This is just a bit of fun to finish off the show. If you manage to get yourself all 4, you can put them all in if you want. Put them in one at a time, and I'll let you know who's got their guesses right and who hasn't. And I think some of you are going to get this pretty quickly. If you think in that same way, then you will do. And Catherine's come straight in there with some very good guesses. Diva as well, easy money, stab in the dark, yeah. Excellent. Keep those comments coming in. I'll see what other ones you suggest. But it is, for those who know catchphrase, you'll know what I mean when I say it's kind of like catchphrase. Very good, yeah. Maddie says easy money. Easy money, yeah. Very good. Rough diamond, another good guess. Diamond in the rough. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You could easily argue that it's rough diamond or diamond in the rough. I will tell you this now, for the bottom right-hand corner one, it's diamond in the rough, because the diamond is in the word rough. So diamond in the rough is the correct answer for the bottom right-hand corner picture, okay? Diamond in the rough. Let's go back up. I will tell you the other answers if I see them posted correctly. So stab in the dark for the bottom left-hand corner, because the word dark is being stabbed by that knife, is correct. Yes, stab in the dark. Very well done. The top left one is easy money, because the word easy is spelt out using symbols for money. So easy money is correct as well. And the top right one, where you see the word Gibraltar, Star of Gibraltar is not a thing. It is, though, as some of you have already said, rock star, because there is a very famous rock of Gibraltar, and star is in the middle of it. So it is rock star. Well done if you got that one right. Massive shout out to, I didn't want to say this straight away, but massive shout out to Catherine, who straight away posted very nearly all 4 correct answers. I mean, rough diamond's pretty much close enough to the answer to be right, but Diamond in the rough is the right answer technically. Excuse me. All right, so any more final comments before we sign off? Let me know. And as always, this video will be posted, so I look forward to hearing any repeat viewers what you thought of the show tonight as well. Seemed to go off without any technical problems tonight. I'll be interested to listen back to some of this and make sure my sound levels were okay. Might adjust the microphone a little bit, but it sounds like things have gone okay for you. Let me know in the comments though before you go, if you don't mind. And I'll read out those last few comments and then we'll go. Diva says, thanks all. Sue and the donuts. Great quiz. Thanks, Chris. Great fun. Thanks. Stay safe and see you soon. Absolutely. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate your continued support, and I'm glad I can keep bringing entertainment to you on a almost weekly basis, because the Patreon quiz will be coming around very soon, won't it? So I'll be over on the Google Meet for that. If you want to join, it's only £2 every month minimum for Patreon, so you can just pay that £2 and then you can join the Patreon quiz this month and every month after that if you wanted to. You can cancel any time, it's no problem. But it's just another game show kind of evening, a bit different even to what we do here. More of a game show approach to it, but lots of fun to be had. So yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for all the lovely comments. You can keep those coming in. I can still reply to them after the show's finished. I'll play my little outro. And I will see you same time next time for more of the same fun. Cheers. Good night.